paranoid, think the feds on me.
Not a pair of J's when I sit at the bread's on me.
I don't wanna fuck, shorty, just put the head on me.
The block looking live, niggas roll up the dead homies. He dead, homie.
What these bitches want from a nigga, I feel like DMX.
Keys came from Cali, the stamp on it, say we the best.
FN squeeze, the bullets going right through his chest. Homie.
There we go. We are back, baby, man. What up?
Yeah. What's up?
40Central podcast. We took a little hiatus, but now we are here, baby. What's up, man? How you been?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I missed y'all a whole lot. Glad to be back.
Weird.
Yeah, it's been really weird. Glad to be back with you guys and podding and bringing y'all some dope content. I hope y'all like the new space. We trying out something different. You know, if you got any suggestions on how we can make it better, hey, feel free. If you want to donate to the cause to help us decorate and make things better,
Feel free.
You know, no cost to you. Yeah, it's been a long bumpy road, but we here.
I can't pick up my phone.
You
Look at my
handicapped.
finger.
I forgot. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot has happened in the last you would say about a month and a half.
Yeah, it's been a tough road. It's been a tough road.
That's a fact.
You know, a lot of reasons to pod, a lot of reasons to take off as well. We would never take this long without giving you guys content without legit reasons. You know, so when we say we missed you guys, we really do dearly believe that.
Also,
Like that.
shout out to the people that during our time of need and everything like that checked up on us. Shout out to the people who didn't know what was going on. It was like, where you guys at? Kind of that was like a little bit of motivation. It was like to keep on going. And shout out to all the people after the fact that whatever had happened. I think we had probably like 6 to maybe 8 to 10 potential guests coming on in the next 6 to 10 weeks. It's like a lot of things happened, which was not good, but then there was a lot of things that's coming out of the ashes, if you want to say, like, you know, like.
Yeah. And I think, you know, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit later, pause, but that's a conversation I had today about finding beauty in tragedy and how that's so hard to do, but so necessary because everything does happen. There are tragedies. Tragedies, that's never going to change no matter what. Right, we went through this tragedy. There's going to be another tragedy again.
Shit.
So now,
speaking about that, like the same day we had to go do something happened to me the same
right,
day.
case
You
in
know what
point.
I mean? Yeah,
you know? So it's about how do you find beauty in those tragic times, and as hard and as difficult as they may be, if you do look deep enough, there is something that you can take away that can help you along with life. And for me, that has been a big part of the grieving process. But then the person that I was talking to, she gave a different perspective about that. And she tied it into like something that I may be dealing with as to why I think the way I think when I say you find beauty in tragedy. But we could dive into all of that.
That's fine. Yeah, I would love to do that. But yeah, long story short, we did lose one of our really good friends, and as his partner in this, and as one of his good friends and everything like that, I had to make sure that he was okay, you know?
Right.
We needed to take the time to grieve and the time to get back to a right place. And we wasn't going to rush that process because we know that we would have gave you guys a watered down version of us. And I don't think that y'all deserve that. I don't think that he deserved that. I don't think that anybody deserved of us just to put out something that wasn't genuine to us. And then shout out to my mom and Lon and that side of the family. We here for you too, and we lost somebody else. And I had to deal with that. Had to deal with making sure that my mom and my stepdad was good. It was a crazy month and a half, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we've ever like really sat down and had a conversation about it, because I feel like it's my perspective, but I feel like you had a lot on your shoulders in which you had to make sure that everybody else was good, and that's a tough place to be in.
Right.
You know, like, and I feel like that as one of the pillars in my family, with the kids and with the, like, it's tough to put a lot of things on my back, but you did what you had to do, and I commend you for that, for real.
Appreciate that. And, you know, to go back a couple steps, I definitely want to make sure to extend my condolences to y'all. And,
Right.
you know, from the brief moment that I did spend from the birthday party, I can tell how much that has impact. I know
Right.
that's not easy to do.
You took that you were the one that took that picture.
Yeah. And I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I'm glad that can be something that, you know,
A
the
momentum.
family could hold near and dear. Because, you know, it's hard to accept. It's almost impossible to accept.
Is it though?
In a sense.
I
Depending
think
on
that I think that, and I don't want to like be like bring it down, right? But after everything that has happened, we lost somebody really young, and we lost somebody of age, right? And then I sit down and I look around, and I'm like, okay, I have but so much time left. I have to sit down here and have to enjoy, because it's gonna happen eventually. And I think that we're getting to an age where, realistically, our elders are gonna go soon. Whoever that may be, whoever the elder is to you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But and after that, I had to really have a conversation with myself, saying, like, you know, like my grandmother's 85. You know, Lon's grandmother died at 85. And it starts to be like, okay, like, where do you go, and what do you think after this? So how do you go about it? Because it's gonna happen. You know, not talking about Earn, because that's a freak accident, for whatever it may be, whatever do you want to say. But like elders, is like we're getting to the point where we're getting old enough to understand that they're about to go in this much time. We don't have 20, 30 years. I got 10, 15, maybe. You know, and it's like, I try to start not getting with it now, but understanding it now. Does that make sense?
No, I think, you know, your relationship with time is your relationship with time. I think everybody's relationship is different. So, like I said before, if I'm at work and I'm waiting to get off work, time is going to feel like it's going real slow, no matter what.
Yeah.
But if I'm out at the club and we
Shit
partying and
shit's going
you
mad
look at your
fast,
watch,
yeah.
it's 4:00 in the morning.
Oh,
you're
shit,
like,
where the time go?
Where the time go?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your relationship with time is always going to be, you know, that's yours. And that's what makes it beautiful, because it is whatever that you make it, because it's your time. For me, the way that I look at it is, because you know death is inevitable, that's what takes the significance of death away. So death is really insignificant when you think about it, because you know
It's happening.
it's going to happen to everybody. So now that you know, it'd be different if we didn't know, like, oh, I might live forever, I might not. So now that's different, but everybody knows that their time here in the physical aspect of your life
Eventually
is
will
going
come.
to end. So now that you know that, you don't have to accept it, but now that you're aware and you know, what you do with the time that you have is the experience.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that after everything that happened in the last month, my perspective about a lot of things changed. Just in general, of just like yeah, I don't see my grandmother all the time, but you know what? But I took her to the doctor 2 times last week. That's more than what I've done in the past 6 months. And now I'm like, okay, I got to do more sometimes because I just don't know anymore. It's scary. It's a scary thing to see somebody go who was healthy and to see somebody go who was at the end. The spectrum is very up and down in which whatever you want to believe in, what you want to see. But when you're going through that, I mean, I'm only talking about me. I'm not. When you're going through that, and you're seeing from both perspectives in 1 week, it's a really big eye opener.
Yeah.
Like it's a really, really, really big eye opener, and it's like, okay, boom. Then not to bring. I don't want to bring nobody's business, but then now, those things like that, because my mother knows what I'm going through, and then she's like, oh, I don't want you to go through this, so I got to get this ready and get this ready, and I need a will and do all this, and it's like. Us as men growing up, and as me with children, and you were not children yet, but we have now. It starts to put us it puts me in a different mindset. Like I got to make sure everybody's good, and it was a really, really, really big eye opener and a really big learning experience for me, and a very big coping experience also. Mm-hmm. But it was tough. We definitely had a really tough month and a half.
Yeah, and to even further that point. I may or may not have said this before, but I know I've always felt this way. Like when you look on somebody's tombstone, you have the year they were born, or the date, and then the time, the date where they left. But now, to me, this is how I always looked at time. The most important part of the tombstone is the dash that's in the middle, because that's your legacy. That's what you did with your time.
I like that.
So now. That's what people are going to remember you for. Yes, the way that you left or you leaving is tragic in and of itself, but the book, the story, the memories is that little dash in between those two dates, which is why I've always disagreed with the quote that says the two most important days are the day you're born and the day you find out why. I've always disagreed with it.
The day you found out why?
Yeah, so I forgot who y'all look it up, but there's like a really, really, impactful quote that a lot of people have used over and over and over again. If you on Instagram, you've seen a quote before, but it says the two most important days are the day you're born and the day you find out why. I get what the quote is.
Meaning your purpose in life?
Yeah. Okay. And I get that. But to me...
So what if somebody never finds their purpose in life?
Then they never had the second most important day in their life.
I disagree with that so much.
Go ahead. Explain.
I think that I have had multiple very important days in my life. I could just put two out of the two births of my kids. That's a very, very, very important days in my life.
Would you say those are the two most important?
Probably. Because that sculpted who I am.
Okay.
But hypothetically speaking, I'm not gonna say no names because I don't ever want to put that out there. But if this person was to pass, that would change my life. That's a very important day.
Okay.
I don't think that you just have two very important days. I think that you have very important moments where you can see what makes you you.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I think the point of that was to continuously think about why you're here. So if I was in that person's shoes, whoever said the quote, they would probably combat what you said with, when you were a kid, did you feel like your life's purpose was to be a father?
Okay.
Right? So then now if the answer is no, then let's reflect and try to figure out, what did you think that your life's purpose was at one point before you had kids?
Okay. See, this is my thing. I will agree with certain parts of that, but there's a part of you who, what do you remember when you was 5?
No.
Okay, so you're trying to, my point is, if you don't remember when you was 5, how can you be like, when I was 5, I wanted to be I thought I wanted to be a doctor. That was my purpose in life. But that changes when you have a real consciousness. I think when you grow up.
Okay.
When I grew up, I didn't even grow up. I'm not even gonna lie. But when I had a kid, I was still a child.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was just talking to G the other day, and I'm like, yo, bro, like me and you have never. At points in time, I'm envious of you, personally, because you had a childhood,
Right.
you had a young adulthood,
Right.
you had a collegehood. I was a parent. I never had those chances to be anything that, because I had to go and I had to work and I had to make money and I had to make sure my daughter was good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like those things change your life in very much different aspects of life. Like, and I think it's for everybody is different.
But while that's true, though, to your point, when you had your kids, you found your why, right? And that's what the quote is saying. If that's your why, then that's your why.
I know a lot of niggas, right, but who have their kids and don't find their why though.
And there's a lot to unpack with that, right? Because if you have kids and you still don't find your purpose, not to say your purpose is supposed to be a father, but if you have kids, you're raising kids, and you still haven't tapped into why you were born, there's some stuff to unpack there. As to like what that means, that there's still some soul searching that needs to be done that probably hasn't been done. And as men, we don't really know how to look within. We're not taught how to look within. We don't care to look within because we're always giving, providing, protecting. We're working. We'll starve before our family has to feel that pain.
Agreed. Do you feel like you found your why?
I think so. I think at one point I thought that when I was a kid, and I'll probably just remember as far back as high school, I thought my purpose was to be an athlete.
Right. I agree.
I'm gonna go NBA, NFL, but that's because that's what was fed to me. I never looked within to find what my talents were at that age. Everybody told me I was an athlete. You can play basketball, you can play football. Even that in and of itself is a box that society put me in. Because if I'm an athlete, then that means I should be able to do way more than those two sports.
Right.
But in the hood, that's all that you learn how to do. Basketball, football, maybe baseball, maybe track, that's it. They don't teach you fencing, they don't teach you tennis, they don't teach you soccer, they don't teach you swimming, they don't teach you golf.
Funny shit,
they don't teach you none of that.
When I was younger, we had in the center we had tennis classes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had tennis classes. We used to play tennis right in front of 560, and they used to put the things up and teach us tennis.
And this is what I'm saying. So now, if that didn't happen, would you have ever picked up a tennis racket?
Hell no.
And this is my whole point. So now to find my why, I feel like I found it more so when I was in school, and they were like, all right, well now what are you gonna do after you graduate college? And I figured out that I'm passionate about education. Right. I looked at my why as what can I do without being paid. So if I wasn't paid to be a teacher, well, I still teach. Yes, because I was teaching for free before I ever got a salary. So once I looked at it and started thinking about that, and then I started reading more about education, and I was like, okay, this is something that I am just thoroughly interested in. I was interested in going back and helping my community. I was thoroughly interested in teaching. I was thoroughly interested in just being in schools because I felt like that is where my community needed me the most and my skill set.
Does that why change when you have a family?
Absolutely. But
so that's your why for now. So you can have a why for now and a why for later?
Your why can always change. Okay. Because your perspective changes with new information.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know what it feels like to be a father. So my why could just easily change as soon as I have kids. Do I anticipate that? I don't think so.
But so my question would be, right, just to play devil's advocate here.
Go ahead.
Your why for your kid shouldn't be a why. That should be a necessity, right? It's not why you're here now. You should do that.
I don't think there is a should for anybody's why. Like nobody's why should be one thing depending on what's going on in their life. Your why is your why. So I can't tell you your why is wrong. I can push you to think in a different perspective because maybe your why is like, for example, when I was a kid and I was told that all I could be was NBA, NFL athlete, somebody could have given me more information to make me reconsider what my why was. But that still doesn't mean that your perspective or your information is right. Only I can decide my why.
You know what? Shout out to the school you go to. I mean, you teach at, because that's changing the perspective of those whys.
Exactly.
Like it's more to sports than just dribbling the basketball or catching the football. There is,
Case in point.
you know what I'm saying? Like I like that. That's why like what y'all doing in the school and
Right.
showing all that stuff. I like that changes a lot of perspective of certain whys.
Mm-hmm.
Whys. That's fire. That's fire. I didn't.
And that's what we all need. But like I was saying before, for my particular why, I felt like it was education. And to even go back to the original point that I was making, because I like to weave in different things, that dash that's on the tombstone, to go back to that quote, I felt like the two most important days are the day you find out why and the day you die. Because once you find out why, you have between that moment and the time that you die to live in that why and whatever that is. So now once I figure out why I'm here, I figure out my mission, now I have between that moment and the time that I die to live through that why to the maximum capacity. And that's a huge part of my book.
I like that.
It's gonna be that time that I figure out what I'm doing, why I'm here, and what I do once I figure it out.
What if you don't figure out your why, but you still become the best person that you want to be?
Then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I think, but now imagine what could have been had you known why you were here and you actually worked towards that. It's like a lot of people that we emulate or a lot of people that we love, for example, let's say Kobe Bryant. Kobe at one point thought his why was basketball.
Right.
And he lived through that to the maximum, to his maximum ability.
Right.
And then he retired. And then he had to redefine his why. And then he got into storytelling.
Right.
Books, children's books, animations, short films.
Coaching, that too.
Coaching.
Coaching.
And then he lived through that to the maximum capacity. But look how many people he was able to impact through living through his why.
Do you feel like that your impact has it? That's just you have to impact a lot or many, or does it matter how many you impact in your life for you to figure out that as your why?
Me personally, or me in, like just in general?
In general.
Say that one more time.
Do you feel like your why to have your why? Do you have to impact many, or you impact one? Is your why done?
I don't think you have to impact anybody but yourself.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't think, like, even if you have kids, like it's amazing that you impact your kids in a positive way, and I think that's what you should do. But even if you don't do that because you have demons and you have things that you're fighting within yourself that don't grant you that time or that grant you that moment to have that impact, then it is what it is. But I do think that as long as you are impacting yourself, then naturally you're going to impact those whoever is around you, whether it be your family, your friends, your community, your state, your country, your whatever. But I think at first you have to figure out your why and deal with that and impact yourself first.
How would you tell somebody who doesn't understand what their why is how to figure out their why?
First,
because I feel like, I mean, the only reason why I'm saying it, because I feel like my why is generic.
I wouldn't even downplay your why. I don't think your why is generic. Because we also talked about people that don't care about their kids.
Hey, okay.
So I think
I just feel like a lot of the answers that I can give to certain things is, I do it because of my children.
and that's fine.
You know what I'm saying? And that may or may not be my why, but there are many aspirations and ambitions that I have going forward with them but with other things also that may possibly be my why.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But how can you say what is and what is not?
So to answer your question, I think it starts with figuring out what you're passionate about in terms of what it is that you want to accomplish while you're here. So kids are part of that journey, but if for some people that's their ultimate accomplishment,
Right.
and that's okay.
Right.
Right? There's nothing wrong with that. If you feel like look, I'm here, I have my kids, and I'm just here to build on that legacy, there's nothing wrong with that. Right? Because now when you think about even once upon a time where people were slaves, all they wanted to do was make sure that their kids were good.
Right.
That was it. And they did that. Not to say that we're slaves and shit like that. No. But what I'm saying is, if that is your purpose, if that's your why, then protect it, own it, and live in it. But now I also would say, to push the conversation further, in order to be there as best as possible for your kids, you have to continuously work on yourself to be the best version of yourself.
No, I agree with that.
Right? And that's the hard part about it, because as much as we want to be great fathers, we often forget about taking care of ourselves and self-care and making sure we're okay.
I will 100% agree with you.
Okay.
Because there's been parts and times where I don't really give a fuck about myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's I think that I honestly really think that that conversation between the whys and all that shit, it really gets really touchy.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it causes you to reflect.
Yeah.
And it causes you to think about, again, like I said, look within.
Right.
A lot of people.
Speaking of reflecting, right?
Go ahead.
I had a question which I saw the other day, and it was like, if you could pick between going back to see like your great grandparents, or would you go in the future to see your great grandchildren? What would you choose? And I think this one was easy for me. And I think that with a storied past like Cornelius, his grandfather was a slave and bought the land that his parents his grandfather there was a slave on. I think that going back to seeing that or understanding that time to time and whatever like that is different. I don't have that history in my life that I know of, so there'll be nobody I want to go see or want to know that I want to understand, because I don't think that anything that they did have changed my life in this present time. Me, I would just go to the future, but I can understand the opposite of it.
I guess for me, I would go into the future, but that's really only because with the ancestry of enslavement, I don't know. Like I don't like my ancestors here wouldn't have the answers that I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for my family history, why my family is the way it is, they're not going to have those answers.
So there's not a lot of people with my last name that I've met, but there are certain people that I've met, and I've heard that we were conquistadors and we was really powerful. We had like a lot of things, and I think he even told me we had slaves. My last name, yeah. Would I want to go back and understand that? Yeah, but I don't know if that's true to my lineage, because there's nobody that can tell me that. And I never did the 23andMe. You know what I mean? I just don't like doing those things. But there's nothing to me in the past that I would want to go, because I don't have a storied past. I don't have nothing passed down to me. I don't have a generational stress or a generational curse or a generational story
That you know of.
that I know of. Right. But if I knew that, my great grandfather was a president of Puerto Rico, I will want to understand that. But to me, I think, and this is the only reason why I say this, because I think that knowing who you are, and knowing who your family is, and knowing your past is very important, because that made me think about a lot. And it was like, I really don't know who or where I came from. And it made me start to think a little bit. It was like, damn, like, what the fuck did we do? Like, where did I come from? Like, all I know is I have a picture with me, my son, me, my father, my grandfather, and my great grandfather. So 5 generations is not that much. Is not that far fetched. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how fast you have a kid, but it's not that far fetched. And my great grandfather, like, okay, cool. I mean, he passed after that picture, but I've known him. There was nothing that to go knowing his father was that beneficial to me. I feel like if I was to go see my great grandchildren and tell them, hey man, listen, I had the greatest partner in the world. Like, you gotta understand, like, what you gotta do. Like, I could give them something. That's what I would do.
All right. And I want to push your thinking with combining both things that you just said. That you would want to go to the future to give information, but you wouldn't want to go to the past. So now I challenge your thought with this.
Let's go.
What makes you think that your descendant of, let's say, 400 years from now would care?
From now?
Because that's what we said, going into the future.
You're going
right?
into the future.
So
Okay.
you're going into
from
the
now,
future.
from
So
now.
your descendant, let's say 400 years from now, based on what you just said, what makes you think your descendant is going to care about what you have to say?
No, I don't. But I will at least know what, hypothetically speaking, we make this very, very big. I will want to know if they're still well off, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, where does it end? Like, what happened? Because I did this for my kids.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, what I'm doing to continue my legacy, or continue what I want to do, is starting here. And I will want to know what the hell's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think that anybody in the past can help me with that. And I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just learned. My aunt told me the other day that something about my family was, and I was like, get the hell out of here. Like we had like very important like singers or something like some shit. And I was like, what the hell? But if I'm not told those things, or if I don't know those things, it's hard for me to want to go know those things.
So then, what would be more important, the search for something that could possibly be major in terms of an inheritance, something that's been passed down, land,
I have land,
business.
though. I have that.
To what degree, though? You don't know,
Bro, I like,
especially if you come from a family that could have been conquering shit.
we have land. I found out my grandmother has the land. Like, land, I'm not worried about the land because there's nothing I could do with that. Personally, right now, because it's going to be fought for. Talk about today's period. Like, at the moment,
Right.
it's going to be fought for. But if I can make this something that is very attainable for the future, and for my kids to not worry, or my grandkids to not worry, like I said, five generations is not very not attainable to have, depending on
That's not far at all.
yeah. So like, if I can make sure that everybody is good, that will be my why.
Okay.
You know, like, and I would love to go further than that, but like, make sure you know, like I put a lot of pressure on Leah. I put a lot of pressure on Cole. Cole's only 6. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want to make sure that they know what they're doing, and whatever we build here, I want to make this shit stronger than ever. You know, and that's I looked at it from that perspective because I don't have a story past that I know of. I wish I knew it, but nobody says those things. Nobody talks about those things. It stops from my grandmother, maybe her mom, and I don't know anything past that. I don't know anything past that shit. So it's like I don't want to go back. That's why I brought up Cornelius. Shout out to Cornelius. He came over here. If y'all don't know who Cornelius is, go and watch. I don't even know what episode that was, but he told his life story and like his great grandfather. What I don't,
Something like that, yeah.
Whatever. I don't want to misinterpret what he said, but was a slave, wound up getting out of that and bought the land he was a slave on. That would be beautiful to go and have a conversation with after the fact. Like, how did you do this? How did you buy this land or whatever like that? I don't have that. I don't have no very significant stuff in my history that I know of. Are they out there? Possibly. But why would I want to go back?
I think for me, I don't know. Based on that, it makes me want to probably go back because I feel like we would just be more relatable than 400. Like the world has changed so much since the year 2000. We're only in 2024. That I can't even imagine.
Imagine when a nigga went to jail at 2000 came on now. He's like,
This is what I'm saying.
yo, what y'all got phones that you could just talk to each other on,
Right.
like in the FaceTime.
Artificial intelligence. What is that? What is that? I don't get it.
I get that. Yeah.
So now to that point, 400 years into the future, what can we what can I pour into you that's realistically going to help you in your life? 400 years from now, podcasting is going to look way different. The country's going to look way different. We might not even be the United States of America in 400 years. We might not even speak the same language. So now, for me to go 400 years into the future, that's almost like in Dragon Ball Z, the story of Trunks, right? He's the future. He goes back to the past to try to deliver a message, and nobody cared. But then now, once they went into the future and saw what was going on,
Now they cared.
They was like, "Oh snap! Like we got to figure some stuff out." But they couldn't relate to what Trunks was going through because it was too far into the future. They saw things flying in the air. The buildings looked different. The people looked different. It was only person they could relate to was Trunks.
That was really good. That was really good.
So now when we think about it like that, I probably would go to the past because we probably would have more things to relate about. Because I know 400 years ago, the bits and pieces of their story that I would probably want to ask questions and discuss. Whereas 400 years into the future, what are we really going to talk about?
I didn't think about it like that.
It's just, yeah.
I didn't think about it like that.
That's like somebody from 400 years ago coming to talk to us today. What would they realistically want to know? Or what can we realistically talk about?
400 years ago, coming to talk to us today?
So somebody from 400 years ago popped up and sat on this couch.
We would have more questions than he would.
Yeah. Because they just wouldn't understand what it is that a smart board, they wouldn't know what that is.
Nigga, when I got here, I was like, what is that?
Hello. So now imagine 400 years.
I said, oh shit, what's the name of that?
Somebody from 400 years ago coming here, they would just sit there just lost. That's what I think I'd be. If I'm 400 years in the future, I'm just going to be sitting there just trying to figure out what it is that I'm looking at.
Think about it. You got grass on your walls? How you got this? This is real?
Exactly. Oh, you can talk to somebody
you can
in a different room as you?
Oh, you have you can. What is that?
That's what a lot of the conversations would be like.
How far would you want to go back, though? Like, if you had a choice.
I would go back.
Would there be a time period?
Yeah, I would want to. It would definitely be during the slavery era because that's when the course of.
All right, pick 3 times.
3 eras?
3 eras, yeah.
Slavery would be number one. And I don't even like to call it the slavery era, but when the inception of America, I'll do that. I'll go back to that. Of course, the ancient Egyptian era, just to see
How they made that shit.
how they built the pyramids and
I
what
like
was
that
really
one.
going on. And then I'd want to see the first day of Earth.
You want to go back to when God opened his eyes?
Yeah, I would just want to see what was day 1, minute 1 like.
Ooh. See,
What is that?
I agree with you too. I don't want to see that one.
Okay.
I just want to know if dinosaurs are real, because I've said this on this. I'm
Right,
publicly
right.
saying this. That I do not believe dinosaurs ever existed.
All right, that's
I've
not
said
a
this
wild theory.
many times, but I would like to see if dinosaurs rule the world, and then I
Okay.
will go to everything else too. I agree with that. I would love to see if the pyramids was.
But what would
made.
you do? All right, you go back and you see, all right, dinosaurs are running around. What do you do?
I'd probably take a picture on my phone and come back.
That's it?
Yeah, I ain't gonna get eaten.
Oh, so you're not just going to walk around?
Now, you want me to just walk around doing it when there's a T-Rex looking at me, nigga?
I mean, but you're going back with technology to protect yourself.
You think hypothetically speaking, right? Is a big ass T-Rex the size of this motherfucking building. What you think a pistol gonna do for me?
I mean, I would bring back.
You
more
know
than
what's
a pistol.
gonna do something for me? This portal to bring me back.
Okay,
I am
that's fair.
out of here.
So you're just going back.
I
to
just want to
peep,
see if they was
see
real.
the truth.
There's yes or no true. I'm a sucker for, and you can attest to this. I'm a sucker for real live footage.
Okay.
When I watch a show, or if I watch a movie or anything that has some type of historical fact or anything that has to do with something that really happened, I don't care about the reenactment. I'm a sucker for, oh shit, look at that, that's real. Like that car drove by, that was real. Oh, that blood on that stain is real. Oh, this is, like, I'm a sucker for that. Like, that's probably one of my biggest things I look for in documentaries, is because I love to see the real facts of it, or the real pictures, or the, I can't, like, the Menendez case. Did you watch that?
I watched like the first episode.
Regardless, if you watched it, you didn't. What I did was I had to watch the one after it. First of all, I watched the real one before that, like 7 years ago.
Okay.
So I already knew about the case. But then I watched it, and then I was like, but I needed to watch what was real in it, because it just keeps me captivated. So me going back to see something that I don't believe in will just make me okay. Because I just don't believe it.
Right. I have a question about you going back to the dinosaurs.
Fuck dinosaurs.
If you could go back, but you couldn't bring a phone, a camera, anything to show proof that it was real, would you still do it?
Oh, yes, I would. Just for my mentality, yes. Just for mental. I would just want to do it. Because I don't believe in dinosaurs. I think we had this conversation. You know what a T-Rex sound is in the Jurassic Park is, right? Mm-hmm. What is it?
It's like a roar.
Wrong. What is the roar though?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a turtle fucking.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Exactly. It's like a turtle coming, and it's like, ugh. And that's how they made the sound of a fucking T-Rex. You gonna tell me that that's real?
I mean, it's all based off. I mean, if I had to defend dinosaurs, you would compare the roar to probably the most massive, terrorizing animals of today.
Agreed. And what they did, it was like two turtles fucking.
Yeah, that's somebody's imagination. But that's the beauty of.
Yeah, but imagination, I could just sit here and go, rawr. That might be a sassy. That might be a sassy one.
But nobody would believe that, because if you did that for a lion of today that we have evidence and can see, they would be like, okay, if a lion sounds like this, it's no way in the world that a T-Rex is going to sound like that.
Listen, we have no proof besides bones, which can be fabricated, because all bones in museums are replicas. Those are not real
in the
bones.
museums. You're right.
There
right,
are no
right,
real bones anywhere
right.
that we have known of. Shout out to archaeologists because I think y'all do your thing, but I just don't believe in y'all. Cool.
All right. So based on off that logic, then does that apply to a bunch of other things that are like 9 wonders of the world? If the ancient Egyptians, the tombs,
But then we can see them though.
we don't know if that they're replicas.
They're still there.
No, but I'm saying the things that are found within the pyramids, right?
But
We
it
don't-
was found in something that is there. It's literally, if this building was under the ground for 1,000 years and we did this podcast today and we was fucking buried for 1,000 years, this shit is here.
but isn't that what fossils are?
No,
I thought fossils are.
I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. I think that they made that shit up for, that's just what I think. Y'all might call me crazy, it's okay. But I just don't believe in dinosaurs. I don't believe that they ever existed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for dinosaurs,
Me neither.
but I mean, if you think dinosaurs are real, please feel free to
Yeah,
comment.
please. If
And
you
with,
wanna-
with an argument,
Yes, yeah, argue me because
to
I
discuss
don't think dinosaurs was ever real. I think that it was made up to sell movies and books and all those things. I just think there's no real facts. You're gonna try to tell me there was creatures the size of this building walking around this shit, and then one meteor killed everything in that. What happened to the ones that lived in the water?
well, it makes sense that the water was affected too.
No, it said they said it didn't. It didn't.
But then they're
But
also
what I do believe in is that we as what we do as we cannot go but so far in the water. We have not searched probably like 90% of the ocean. Cool. But we cannot see, or we don't know 85% of the ocean.
right.
We know surface level, maybe a little bit less or whatever like that. We can't go deep.
Right.
Cool. If there's other things, that's why I believe in like mermaids. I don't think they're what we believe they are. I don't believe they're humanoid. I don't believe that but I think there's something else different than whatever's lower than what we can think. There's so much shit, bro. Like 5, 6, 7 years ago, we spoke about this too. If y'all go back, but they found a new species of whale. How can you find a whole new species of a whale that comes up from? So water is different. I don't believe in Bigfoot because we have a satellite from space that can see us right now. They could catch Bigfoot if they really want to. I don't believe in all the other shit. Like, I don't believe in those dinosaur shits. I don't believe in shit that is above here. Like, is not happening.
I just find it interesting that you don't believe in dinosaurs but believe in mermaids.
I believe anything in the water. I just feel like we cannot.
But then they have dinosaurs that were in the water,
Exactly, where are they?
the same place as the mermaids.
Okay, if that's your argument, I would accept that argument.
Okay.
I would accept that argument because if they're down there where we cannot see it and they're still alive, cool. I will accept that.
Okay.
But here and all that shit, I just don't believe it. You trying to tell me the meteorite hit and killed. If a meteor hits us right now, is gonna kill everybody in China?
Depending on the size of the meteor, I think that's possible. Earth is not as big as we think it is. I think we can easily get hit by something from space, and that could be the end of human civilization.
Maybe. I just don't believe it. Not them big ass dinosaurs. And you know what the problem is? They make these documentaries, and I watch that life shit on Netflix. I watch it. I like to just be upset at myself all the time. And it's like, oh yeah, this was walking around the earth before that shit. How the fuck do you know? Was you there?
I mean,
Like,
I hear what you're saying, and it's
this was the first.
Oh, you gotta tap
invertebrate.
the screen. You gotta tap the screen before it goes black.
Tap the screen,
Yeah, you just gotta tap the screen.
and that's staying on the stream too. Oh, this was the first invertebrate that's ever. How the fuck do y'all know that? We wasn't alive.
Yeah, but it's all based off interpretation of findings.
Somebody's interpretation.
Somebody's interpretation of findings, right? So we don't. Some people say the pyramids were built by aliens. We don't know that.
They said they were built by Mexicans.
Wow. I don't even think Mexicans existed. Mexico definitely did not exist.
And they was like, yo, the Mexicans did this shit. This shit is fire.
That would be crazy. I would claim it.
I would too.
If I'm them, man, I would claim it. Why not? I mean, shoot, they have pyramids. I think they have
They
pyramids
have
in
pyramids
Mexico.
in Mexico. That's why they said that, though.
But they have pyramids in America too. So,
Where?
It's not the Great Aztecs, but
No, Aztecs wasn't.
no. But there's definitely there are definitely pyramids, or there's at least one pyramid. I think there's one pyramid at least on every continent. Pyramids are not like the pyramids of Egypt are just different.
Do you think Stonehenge is like literally like a head and toes?
I don't even know what that is.
Like Stonehenge, where like it has like
That circle of stones.
yeah, and then like on the other side of where it's like stones. So
I never knew what the significance of those
Me
stones
either.
were. Oh,
Me either.
so
I'm just
I don't
asking.
know. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. I never was intrigued to even try to study that.
I like that shit. I like that shit. I think that's why I like a lot of like the Marvel shit too. Like where it's like old Norse gods. Like I even though I don't believe in like none of that shit, like the Zeus and all that shit. But
I mean, I'm a believer of anything that's ever been created on Earth has existed somewhere in the universe before.
I also I agree with you. I think that everything that Men in Black has showed us, they have something that has some type of significance. Like who the fuck made this shit?
Not only that, I just don't think. I think it's crazy to think that if the Earth alone is only a few billion years old, so relative to the rest of the universe, the Earth is really, really as a baby. I can't think that humans, and then amongst that 400 billions, we're only maybe a millisecond of that time.
Sheesh.
I can't think that humans are the first to come up with anything. So whether it be something in a movie, whether it be an invention, it has existed somewhere before in the universe. So
Do you think that life is like Dragon Ball Z?
In what sense?
In the sense there is multiple universes, like Universe 1, Universe 2, Universe 8, but similar thing. Like Beerus and Champa, they twins, so their universes are similar. So he has another Earth on his planet, but it's not the same.
I wouldn't
it's
say
similar.
multiple universes. I think there's one universe, and it's just too vast for us to comprehend.
Do you know what I always thought was very interesting? Do you remember the end of the first movie of Men in Black? Where the
Like it
aliens
zooms out or something like that?
it zooms out and the aliens had like marbles and there was like so many like different universes. There was like we're this small compared to what's reality.
We're a grain of sand.
Yeah. And to believe that we are the only ones here is insane to me.
It is, but it isn't, because a lot of people have to see something in order to believe it. So if you believe that we're the only ones or one of very few,
Your
then-
perception is reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself, I can understand. But for me and my personal beliefs, I've always felt as if we're just a grain of sand in a universe that just is too vast for our minds to comprehend. Like I remember, and I think I spoke about this on the pod before, I remember when I was staying in St. Louis over a vacation when I was in college, and my friend, shout out to Josh, his dad brought up this really interesting complex to us, and he said, I'm staying at his house, and his dad is there, and we're talking about the universe and beliefs and stuff, similar to what we're talking about. Long story short, he said, our minds are so feeble, we're so limited to what we can think, that we can't picture life.
Oh, you said this before.
Right.
I remember
We
this. I
can't
remember
picture
this.
life outside of Earth without any human-like features.
I agree. You said this before. Yes. Yes, yes.
And then he said, prove it. And I was like, you know what? I can't picture a living organism seeing without eyes. What are the five senses outside of Earth?
You know what the crazy thing is? I can, a mole has no eyes. They're blind.
But can they see?
Yes, because they smell and they can see with their other parts.
But that's not sight.
No, it is sight for them.
So a blind person can see.
A blind person who has never seen before, who can touch this, that's their sight. Yes, feeling is sight for them.
But that's not.
That's not our sight. I agree with you, but sight is sight. Like if I go like this, I can feel, oh shit, this is this. I can understand what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's their sight. But there are things that cannot see. First of all, you know I saw a bat by your building the other day?
There have always been bats.
I know, but this shit was wilding.
That's crazy.
Like Cole was like, what is that? I was like, that's a bat. Let's go. This week is election day. We're not gonna be back by what? By election day, are we?
I think election day is what, the 11th?
Tuesday, 5th.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nah, is you sure? I thought it was like the 11th.
5th, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one, go vote. Everybody needs to go vote.
Vote for whoever you want to vote for.
Yeah, don't feel pressured to
Don't
vote.
take our opinions and anything.
Yeah, don't feel pressured to vote for somebody that you don't know about. Don't feel pressured to vote for somebody that somebody else told you to vote for. Don't follow social media. This is what I always tell people. Find 3 things that you care about. That's it. Pick which candidate best fits those 3 things. Vote for that person and then maximize the policies that they plan to put in place to help you with those 3 things.
So I had a phone call the other day. Yesterday, to be exact. And he calls me, he goes, yo,
My bad.
I ain't care about the computer, I care about the drink.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
He called me, he said, yo, I know who you voting for. My nigga, there was nobody there.
Something probably fell behind in the closet area. Or the door could have moved.
Is it a ghost?
Somebody from
Oh, fuck
400,
it is what it is.
4,000
Come on,
years
if
ago.
you're a ghost, come on the podcast.
Yeah, somebody from 4,000 years ago.
4,000, that'd be fire. Would you, I would love to interview a ghost. Would you let a ghost go inside you, pause, and like take over and let and just say what they gotta say?
No.
I would. Fuck it, I'll do it.
No, I'm good.
I would. Anyway.
Nope.
So the person hit me up and he was like, I know you're voting for all the whatever. He said, what does Trump supporters think about after these next 4 years?
If they win?
Yes. And if they lose, what do they think? Like, because he made a good point. He was talking to me about what we were talking about, whatever we were talking about, right?
Right.
And then he was like, I have a question to a real Trump supporter.
Okay.
And he said, what is your plan for the next 4 years after either he wins or loses? Because they're not gonna put him up again for the next 4 years. But what happens if he wins? What happens to what your plan?
Oh, basically, after Trump is done with politics.
Right.
I think that if a Trump supporter would say that they would just find the next politician who matches their values. I don't think you're going to see a decline of Republican voters or a decline of conservative voters.
So this person's point was he has never seen a influx of support for a Republican president as much as they doing it for Trump.
Right, but I mean, we've seen it with Obama, though.
So his point was, which was great, you said that the influx of the votes to Obama was a lot of the black vote because he was black.
That's not that's not true.
I'm saying
a lot of white people voted for Obama too.
No, I agree, but I'm saying the point that was made at that point in time. That's why I'm just going to put it. The point that was made at that time was the fact that he know that he had this vote. This person said that at this point in time, the white supremacists vote are going to Trump. So he's gonna have that.
Okay, I mean, I feel like that's
it's hard for me to say it to you without saying anything, but
yeah,
we had a very, very, very in-depth conversation about it, but the ultimate point was, what does Republicans Republican and Trump supporters do after this election?
I think they just continue to be regular Americans. I don't think it's as complex as that conversation that y'all had. I think they'll be fine. They were fine before Trump, and I think they'll be fine after Trump. I think they'll just be finding maybe Ron DeSantis or another,
what I said, though.
Right, another up and coming Republican that they believe in. But I don't think they leave the party. I do think though that the next person up is going to need a Trump endorsement. I think that's the real question. If Trump doesn't endorse anybody in the Republican Party, who do you guys turn to? Because it's the same with Obama. Once Obama endorsed Kamala, it helped her significantly in terms of gaining votes. If Trump doesn't endorse anybody, who will you turn to? So that's what they're really going to be looking for, is that Trump endorsement. Because if Trump says, all right, I'm not going to be here no more,
How long
but
did that
that
last?
guy,
Then
the Trump endorsement?
Yeah.
Until he dies. Trump endorsements are going to, because the MAGA community isn't going anywhere. So if Trump says that's who I think you guys should run with, they're not going to go against that. So I think that's what they do after he leaves. They just wait to see, all right, how are you going to steer and how are you going to help and who are you going to support from the outside, the same way you did before
Does
you became a
MAGA
politician.
continue after this year?
Yeah, because whoever gets that Trump endorsement is going to continue. That's what I would do if I'm
as a
a politician and I know Trump is going to endorse me. I'm going to put the MAGA hat back on and I'm going to continue with that. If not that same slogan, we're going to have something that's very similar.
And I told this person, I said, you have to talk to a real Trump supporter.
Right.
Like, to get that answer. I said, to me, personally, I am going for what I believe in, whether it was A or B, how I want to look at it from A or B, and they know where I'm going to go 100%. I think you know where I'm going to.
Right.
But I said, that doesn't, I'm not that one type of person. So you have to go and talk to somebody who is a Trump supporter and say like, hey, what's going on? Are you going to be okay after 4 years? And I agree with you. Like, I think that the Trump endorsement means everything. Like, if it doesn't, then I don't know what anybody is thinking, but they need his endorsement to get it. But the thing was, this Puerto Rico shit. I think I've seen him as a comedian. I didn't take it in any type of like way. I also think that I'm not sensitive. That I don't think that he meant that 100% of Puerto Ricans are coming here and making babies. He said Latinos. Yeah, we all Spanish. Latinos are being Latin is a big, broad thing. They do. Latinos like making babies. Everybody likes making babies. So, but you cannot take a comedian's words and make it so generalized. To me, I don't think that what he says is your views. And actually on this shit, what I say is not 100% what you think.
Right.
So if you want to run for president and I say, oh yeah, I don't like the color green, that don't mean that you don't like the color green.
Right.
That's not fair. But I think that they take these little bits and say, oh yeah, he has this guy doing this and he believes in that, he's a white supremacist. I think I need to take out the individuality of everybody from that unless he said, oh yeah, Puerto Rico's a thing. Yeah. Listen, his joke was bad. I don't like stand-up comedy. His joke was horrible. But if you want to be realistic, the man who will put it up the best and was like, there's so many 1,000 pounds of garbage going into Puerto Rico. Realistically, we have a lot of garbage on our land. Not saying we're a garbage land, but it's true. We have a lot of fucking garbage there. How are we gonna fix that?
That's a real conversation.
Like, there's a lot of shit. and it was after Hurricane Maria, I think, right, Maria?
I think so.
Yeah. If we're wrong, I'm sorry. Please correct us. But I think it was after Hurricane Maria. There was a lot of garbage that went onto it. Do I take his joke seriously? Not at all. But honestly, there's a lot of garbage on Puerto Rico.
And that ties into what we were talking about before, finding the truth within the tragedy, right? He made this joke, and you're talking about at the MSG rally.
Was that?
I think so. I think that was the MSG rally, but whatever. That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So he makes the joke and about the Puerto Ricans and the garbage and stuff like that.
And the girl was like, "Don't come in."
Right. But now it starts the conversation on if this is true, how do we solve that problem? And if he doesn't make the joke, do we have that same conversation?
Not at all.
So,
But you see, this is the thing, right? Like I said before, I'm a sucker for like real shit. So I go through comments and I go through looking at shit, and the problem is that people want us to be separate. They want Puerto Ricans, they want blacks to be separate. Yeah. Oh, y'all didn't care when they said something about Haiti. What he said about Haiti? Somebody said something about Haiti.
I don't know. I think about like the people Haitians coming in and
eating dogs and
Right,
shit like
right,
that.
right.
Whatever. Oh, but y'all didn't have the uproar. But because he said something about Puerto Ricans, now y'all on uproar. I think it's these little tactics of putting everybody against each other to make everybody divided.
That's fair.
And it's like your views on this grass on this twerking thing is not mine. It's not fair to put everybody in a box. And that's what people try to do. They try to put everybody in the same singular box and say, like, this is how it is. This is how he feels. Is that? Oh, yeah, by the way, if y'all didn't notice, I do have a cast on my arm. I fell. I'm getting old.
We all have a birthday.
But I just don't know if, like, it's okay to be like, he feels like that. Now, he didn't say that, so why are you putting his whole campaign on that? And then I heard some other shit like, oh, he's a white supremacist, or he's this, that, and the third. Or he's only the white people who are gonna be so built up. It's so much that I've been hearing in the last couple of weeks. It's crazy. I just don't know how to deal with it.
I mean, I just feel it's crazy how people get so much in an uproar because all you do is go into a booth by yourself, you put in a check next to the person you like, you put it in a ballot,
and keep going.
That's it. That's literally all it is. And then after the results are in, you're still gonna have to live here and figure it out.
And I said the same thing. I said, like, honestly, I don't think that, well, maybe you, I don't know. But I don't think that we, as a middle class, really feel anything that's different than paying taxes for the rich, or like we're not poor. We're not living in the street or living. We okay. I think so. Can I say that?
No, that's fair.
Okay. And I think that a lot of the things that happen to us really affects us, but doesn't affects us if we continue what we're doing.
I think it depends on the things that you care about.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I said for voting, I have my three things. It's education, gun control, gun laws, and prison reform. Educate our kids, protect our kids with guns, bring home the unlawfully incarcerated people. Simple. And my society will be okay. That's what I vote for. Now, what you vote for, if you want to vote for abortion, you want to vote for climate change, any of that, healthcare, whatever it is, that's your right to do so.
I agree.
But it doesn't,
and I'm not going to judge you for that.
Right. It doesn't make me, just because I vote for who I vote for, don't mean that I agree with the worst parts of their administration or their presidency or whatever.
I think that's a hard conversation, one, because it's like, I can sit down, but like, and this is not, but I'm not pro-life. But I'm pro-life. And then I would not talk to you ever after that. Like, bro, why can't we just have a conversation?
That's the part. Well, to me, and what I learned through that process and when I started talking more openly about my political views. For those who I've lost relationships with because of things that I believe in, to me that just proved to me that the relationship or the friendship just was never real. So I'm glad that I'd rather be at a point where I can be my true self and lose somebody that's a quote unquote friend than to feel like I have to hide something just to maintain that friendship.
I love that. I love that.
I'm perfectly fine. If me being my true self offends you and causes you to be like, you don't want to talk to me no more,
Fine.
cool, that's better.
Fine.
Because I'd rather not have you around anyway because I can't be who I truly want to be.
No, I agree.
Right? But that doesn't mean if I'm going on the wrong path that my true friend can't check me.
No, I agree.
Right?
But I also think that the word, like, not even path, I think that's what life, anything. Like, if you punch your girlfriend in the face and I'm like, yo, bro, you got to chill out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I took it to the extreme. I'm sorry, but like I have to understand. Like, if I can't tell you that, like, yo, I don't think that we have a real relationship. Like, like you should be able to be like, yo, just you chilling. You wilding, bro. Like, and I have to accept it too, coming from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it changes.
Yeah. No, and I think that's my whole thing when it comes to the politics stuff. Just let politics be politics. Vote for who you want to vote for, and then just get the most out of your vote.
I was at that bar the other day, and I saw my mans and whoever he was with, and they brought up, and they asked me a question, and I answered it. And I said, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Because of my answer, I don't want to go down this road. And I said, but I'm open for like a conversation. They said, people usually don't do this. I said, because it doesn't change who I feel about you.
People don't usually do what?
Go through the conversation that we had.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I said, it doesn't change what I'm gonna feel about you today. I'm not gonna change that because that's not who I am. Just what I believe in and what I do. That shit is not gonna change what I'm gonna take. Like, we're still gonna be cool today as long as you can understand. You could take the politics out of it. Politics is really bad in friendships and relationships
And families.
Oh, and families. That's
To me, I'm at the point now where I don't talk politics with my family.
I don't, and the person what I said was I said, like, I don't talk about politics because one, I've never been a policy person until Kev. Mm-hmm. Kev, love you, my nigga, but Kev, I cannot get out of a conversation without politics.
Right.
You know. Mm-hmm. And he showed me more than what anybody's ever showed me. And then we had this shit. And then we all started talking. And then y'all showed me more and showed me what I needed to do. And that sculpted my mind to believe what I wanted to. Mm-hmm. Not saying that I'm following anybody, but I want to do what I want to do. Right. So when somebody says something that, like, I'm not going to, like, family, if I talk about whatever I want to do or they want to talk about whatever, like, we have a really big discussion about it. Like, it's like, don't we want to talk about that? But it's crazy because it changes lives. It shouldn't, though. But when I was with my man Just the other day, and I was talking to him, I'm like, listen, you have your own perspective. I'm not gonna change it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to change it. I just want you to understand how I feel. You want to understand how you feel, and we can keep it moving. We could just understand each other, and that's all I want.
Yeah, and then when you really dig deeper into the whole emotion behind politics, it's really only for president. Because if I tell you who I voted for Congress, you
don't
care.
give a fuck. Yeah.
If I tell you who I voted for councilman, you don't care. But
those are the people, you voted for AOC, I don't like you.
Right, but you literally probably voted for a judge who's willing to lock up your children.
Exactly.
But we don't want to have that conversation. Yeah. Right? So which is why it's better to just stay away from it and let me believe what I believe and vote for what I want to vote for. You vote for what you want to vote for.
Exactly.
And hopefully we should still be friends regardless.
No, yeah, I agree.
For political views I can understand in a relationship.
No, I can't.
I can.
Nothing to do with you.
Yeah, but for example, if we have kids and I believe in a certain education, right, and you believe that, and you're gonna go vote.
You took it today,
yeah. But things like that I can understand. So in a relationship, I get it. But outside of that, And I think even within a relationship, you can figure it out. I think you can, but I can understand why somebody says, you know, if I'm a Democrat, then I can't marry a Republican.
Yeah, you bugging.
I can understand it. I disagree with it, but I can understand.
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that we could find a middle ground. If I love you, I'll find a middle ground somewhere.
I think that.
Yeah.
But I can also understand if somebody said, no, I can't marry somebody who has those political views. Cool. I get it.
I think today was great.
Yeah, great.
How you
great
like
episode.
How you like this shit that we?
I think it's cool. I think, you know, once we see what the final product looks like, then we could probably make a much better judgment. But I think overall,
so we
I think
want
it's
y'all
cool.
guys out there to like let us know how y'all feel about this and how we doing. And I just need to shout out. I gotta shout out Ern, man, because I don't know what it was. I know that our text message, our friendship, that he always wanted us to succeed. And after the 4 fucking rainy days of cloudy days, everything, then we buried him after that. Like, we have so many people really just wanted to fuck with us. And I just gotta appreciate my brother for just still watching us out from the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know
I
what
think, I could have a whole episode just
Nah, we could do that.
talking and discussing, and yeah. So we'll eventually do that, and we'll get some of the guys to come in. But
I just feel like after that, you text me. It was like I got like 4 people. I got like 7 people. I got
right.
And just saying that, like, my guy, like, he wants to see us win, and he's sending people to us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we're gonna do him justice, and we're gonna do us justice, and we're gonna give y'all the best show that we can do. I don't ever think I ever seen that many people want to come on in like a 3-4 week span. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
And I don't know if it was because we was grieving and we was going through stuff, but it showed that y'all still care about us. Like, and I just want to say thank you to you guys, and I love you guys, and we appreciate y'all. And we're gonna give y'all the best content that we can.
Absolutely. And to Ross, it's still a shocker to have to even process that whole thing and what happened and how it happened and what's been going on since. So, like, I'm still not even really at a place to, I don't even know what to say about it. You know, all I can do is just live it and live it the way that I know he would want me to. But I don't know. You know, all I'm trying to do from my end is continue to be what I think he would want me to be, and that's the best version of myself, and continue living through my why and my purpose and all that. And I'll continue to do that and continue to honor his legacy, his life, his family, because that's something that I still can't comprehend.
I don't think we ever will.
Nah. And it's still almost low key, like not even really I haven't really accepted it.
I'm still looking for, first of all,
Into the mic.
I'm the one that kicked the nigga out the group chat after that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I couldn't do it because I'm still looking for the name.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, and E comes before J. E comes before Z. E comes before Y. You know who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So when I get my messages, the E come first. And it's like, don't want to see it. I'm sorry if I did it. I did it. But just couldn't accept it. And I'm still waiting for the day where I get a message. Not as much as you are probably, but I'm still waiting for the day where I'm like, yo, Reek, what up? I ain't even say that name here ever. So fuck you, Ern, at the same time.
Right.
But he's like, yo, Reek, where you at? Like, but, you know, with everything that we're going through, all of the support that we got, and all of our love between each other and our friends, and we vowed to all be together at least once a month, because we need to understand that we're gonna be gone. But I love all my brothers. Whether I talk to you today, whether I talk to you tomorrow, whether we fighting, whether we not, I love my brothers. I love my niggas. I love all y'all. And it's been tough. And I'm not saying it's not going to be tough, because both of us lost our dads.
Yeah.
Both of us have a familiar feeling of this. But we know what death is come to us. But without each other, we have nothing. So we got to keep each other good. And I love my brothers, and I'm going to love y'all to the day I die. And I'm going to just be transparent. We had to drive home, and I cried. I did cry. I did shed a couple of tears, and telling you how much I cared about you. I wasn't being insincere. I just letting my brother know that I'm here. I sometimes I need help, and I don't think that it would have happened because if this didn't happen, you know. And regardless, is like, you know, I'm there for you, and I know you're there for me, and I know we had a lot of going up there. Is this all recording?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool. Because
I think so.
I'll be tight if it's not, because I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, it's recording. Go ahead.
But you know, like I did set. We driving, and whether I wanted to do it, I didn't. But you know, it came on. I told you how much I cared about you. But I love all y'all. I love everybody out there. I love all my brothers. I love the people I don't speak to every day. I love the people I don't speak to every year. But I just want all of us to be good, and I'm always here. That's it. I'm good with that.
All right. I can't top that. So.
Yes, you can. You got better than that.
Nah. Yeah, I mean, we can just end it like that. Thank you for watching 40 Central. Make sure to like and subscribe, and share, talk about it, comment, let us know.
This was a good episode today.
Yeah, it was good. It was real good. They're very refreshing. Very refreshing.
It was, though. It felt good.
Very refreshing.
Felt good.
And I'm sorry. The last thing. One thing I'll always remember about Ross, like I said, the sweet rage is the term.
Explain what that means.
So for those who didn't get a chance to really know Ross in depth, he was the type of person that had a lot of goals, hit a lot of goals, but always kept a smile on his face.
The funniest shit is, before you even go, nigga said how he went to college before JT.
Right. I don't.
They said if Ross could do it, you could do it.
Exactly, and
that's a really like crazy thing, because yeah, he was who he was, but he was fucking such a smart individual.
Had his master's.
Yes.
Had a master's degree.
Before you, right?
Yeah. Definitely had his master's, but that was because that sweet rage to continue to go accomplish your dream and your goal, no matter the obstacle, and do it with a smile. That's the key. No matter how tough things got, no matter what he was going through, he would always make sure to keep a smile on his face, and that's something that I'm gonna carry with me as best as I can whenever I'm going through an obstacle, to continue to use that sweet rage to go through it to deal with it, no matter how difficult it may be. And that's why I said in the car, you and Kev got to squash that shit. Whatever riffle, y'all got to have a conversation. And
What these niggas want, what these bitches want. It's 40.
I be paranoid, think the feds on me.
Not a pair of J's when I sit at the bread's on me.
I don't wanna fuck, shorty, just put the head on me.
The block looking live, niggas roll up the dead homies. He dead, homie.
What these bitches want from a nigga, I feel like DMX.
Keys came from Cali, the stamp on it, say we the best.
FN squeeze, the bullets going right through his chest. Homie